Well, I just released my single, Endless. And so basically what I'm doing now is just trying to promote it. It's on Twitter, and I'm going to places where I can sing the song and do promotions. The launch was nice, very nice. I had a good crowd there, and we had a local TV station, Yeah. Came and covered it, yeah. My foundation is the Carol Maraj Foundation. We work with women for the prevention of violence against women. Well, I started the foundation in 2012. I wanted to do something for the battered women. I visited a shelter, and I had some discussion with about 25 women. They started telling me their individual stories, and I was just moved, When I left there, I knew I wanted to do something for them. Well, after all these years, I started to feel more compassion for women, because I keep putting, I look back at the time when I was myself was being abused. I wanted to just help women enhance their lives, because I understand how the confusion and the hurt, the pain they go through. So I wanted to do something just to help, one shelter at a time. I started a few programs. One is called the Moving Onward Vocationally Empowered, because when these women go into the shelters, a lot of times they go right back to the abuser. So I needed to educate them. If we can educate them and give them financial independence, introduce them to the workforce, then it will lessen their chances of wanting to even go back. So the MOVE program we started. The makeover program, Dolls Up Makeover, it gives incentive. So as they look good and feel good, most of the time, they will want to remain that way. And so therefore they will pursue education to remain that way. We did a makeover, and I'm working with some young women from a group home. I'm doing a Stirring Up the Gift program with them. The makeover is tied in with this program. We taught them, we work with them on music, melody. I'm a songwriter, so I help them get deep into their feelings and bring out whatever how they felt before they came into the group home. So we taught them that, a little bit of crash course on filmmaking, and but so they wrote a nice song that I wrote together. But the idea was to just stir that gift up. You write. There's a young woman she just rapped before she thought it was far-fetched. There was a young lady who wanted to model. Those things that were far-fetched. The idea is to stir the gift up and know that today is the beginning of your confidence level has changed. Today, I always tell them, is a new day. So Stirring Up the Gift program is just to let them, when they're in the group home, they feel so unwanted and unloved. And sometimes a certain mentality seems to, it could kind of dampen and bury what you have inside. But when I deal with them and show them who they are, we're gonna do this song, we're gonna give you a video, we're gonna get a video shot of it, and we're gonna get you a poster. So every time you look at that poster and you hear that song, you will take that to places. So we did a nice shoot, and it was very nice. And that's what I'm doing here. I'm stirring up the gifts in young people. Absolutely, the women. I go to the shelters and I speak to the women. My standing before the women shows that abuse is not the end. I went through and I overcame. So I teach them that. I take them toiletries and different things, give them my story, and I also bring in my daughter. show that, through it all, she came from a family that was being abused, so abusive family, and she persevered. So I always give them my story and my daughter's story, how she went to school, how she came here with she had challenges in this country as a child from Trinidad, but however, she persevered. One thing is, she saw me standing. I could have just gone drugs or give up. She saw me keep moving, and she did the same thing. And I always reuse the example, She went to LaGuardia. It was a cold day. She was trying to audition for singing, and she came out. She didn't get through. She just started to cry, and she wanted to just squash everything. And I said to her, "Do you have one more?" She said, "Yeah, I have drama." I said, "You're not going to go home. You're going to go and audition for drama." She went in there, and that was just her. She saw everybody doing this thing. Something in her just developed, just came out. She came out just laughing and happy. She passed with flying colors. So I'm saying, if I didn't stand up and say to her, "You gotta go on. You can't give up," she wouldn't have been Nicki Minaj today. Because she will say to you that she got all her strength and her artistic abilities came out when she went to LaGuardia. So that's the story that I really use. I tell a lot of the women at
She was always strong-willed.
Yeah. She always had that determination. She'll always just go and make up her own songs at the table or beating the table, freestyling, and her brothers will say, "Get her away from me, get that child, let her shut up." And she never shut up. And this is what she's doing now. There was a lady next door to me. She took me as her daughter. And she used to always take me to church. And she used to come to my house and do prayer meetings. And one day I just went to church, and I gave my heart to the Lord. I asked Him to help me with this. But then the pastors were coming into the house and working with my husband. So that's where he left for a while, and then he, to get himself together, and then he will come back. But I got this. What happened for me to get that change? I had to really. I started going to church. And I got the strength to move beyond abuse. Well, in Trinidad, I just used to go to youth groups, and it wasn't that attached. But I remember coming up here, and when my husband became a crack addict, as a young woman, it was so overwhelming. And I know that was the driving force there. Carol Maraj is a pillar. Passionate and compassionate, a mother of mothers. But it seems like God is doing something, because it's like all of these people become my children. Because the last thing I told them, I said, "Let me tell you something." Because this young lady was saying, "Oh, they tease her in school, but they're going to just be looking at her, head's going to be turning." I said, "You just kicked out of the door. Low self-esteem just left." I said, "I'm not going to leave you alone. I'm going to be with you until you grow up big, until you become a grown woman." I said, "You're going to be something." So she said, that's just it. I was born to do it. And this is my path. The worst times of my life, I guess, is when the love of my life became a drug addict. And it was really hard to deal with that, because that's somebody I was still in love with, and he just was out of himself all the time. So a lot. People, I believe, I tell people, my two children were my hope, and then my strength was from God. Because I always tell people, nobody will take that much and just stand up.
I'll still be there.
Yeah, but the pastors always used to tell me, one pastor, I was about to leave, and the pastor said, "Till death," the next one confusing me and telling me, "You go, don't listen to my father." It's like religion. and my spiritual beliefs. Best time of my life? I don't know. I don't know. It's just I just enjoy life with my children. Seeing their success. And watching them strive, just go move on for good, positive things. So if you want to make me happy, I just need to be around my kids. I could sit in a box, but once my children don't have trauma in their lives and they're happy, I'm happy. Oh, in St. James, it was nice. I was the 10th of 11 children.
Wow.
We were plum tree and this thing called Goo Bear. They would know. People would know. We used to have that in the yard.
Yeah,
Bacano leaf, this bacano thing. My mother used to just boil it up. I was always outside running with my brother, playing guns, shooting, and all kinds of stuff. So I used to love this little tomboy stuff before, but with six girls and 5 boys was just fun. Not always fun, because sisters used to just start fussing with each other, but in the end, growing up with a big family was very, very nice for me. My mother was a loving woman, always cooking, baking cake and calling the neighborhood children and giving it to them every Saturday. So my father, he was in America most of my teenage life. I went to Tranquility. Fun. School days were the best days. Tranquil, Intercal, Pan. And we were beating up a lot of them at them time, Fatima and QRC. Tranquil was on top of that in those days. Yeah, well, when Nicki got signed, it changed from that moment. I didn't have to run out 9 to 5 in the snow and work anymore. She just bought me a house I never had to pay for, think about bills anymore.
So she took care of her mom first thing?
Yeah, the first thing she did was took care of me. And that's it. And that's how I was able to get involved with my music and the foundation. I understand clearly that sometimes our rocky road, just our walk is really a preparation for something bigger. I understand that clearly from my life. Our struggles are just there to make us stronger and prepare us for something greater. It's been good. I wouldn't fly in God's face. I remember as a young woman, just hopeless. Came to America and just like, I left National Insurance Board for this. But I came to America and there he was on drugs. He went on drugs and everything went downhill, But I knew it had to change. Something had to give, and I never gave up on hope. I always kept knowing that something else. Carol Maraj was not born for that kind of suffering. Suffering is really for a moment, because it's going to bring out integrity. It's going to bring humility, and people who looking at me will know that it's really true. It brought out humility and strength that I never knew I even had. I honestly fear that my children would not. No, well, I know it's going to happen, because God promised to save a man and his household. But I always wonder about them really getting that relationship, that walk, to really utilize the faith in God, because we wouldn't be around with our children forever. When we are not able to inspire them and to, they must know that there's a faith they gotta hold on to. And that's my thing. I try to talk to them about it whenever I get a chance. Remember, it's your faith. It's not me. Is your faith going to take you through? Whatever happens in this world is your faith. It's not your mother. Because I have to draw my faith. You know, so my mother, my mother and father left me. If it was up to my mother and father, I would have fallen apart if I didn't have the faith to go on. Well, I was going through some stuff with a family member for like 2 years, backward and forward, texting and arguing, and it was really taking a toll on me. So I called my sister in Florida, and I was just pouring out how I felt and everything that that was happening. I was feeling disrespected. I just was feeling like it was overwhelming. And I talked to her for so long, about 20, 30 minutes, and then she said, Carol, just go in your room and just pray. She didn't know what else to say because I was just pouring, getting so emotional. I went up and I prayed, and then when I finished praying, there was a notepad and a pen on a desk in my room, and I just started writing. And the words just came from nowhere. It was like God was just answering everything I was going through, encouraging me. So it was when life seems unbearable, when goals seem unreachable, in your wilderness experience, open your spiritual eyes. I don't know where these words were coming from, but I was just writing. I took it to the studio, and this is it. Voila. Endless is here. It's available on iTunes and on Google Play. Carol Maraj, Endless. Oh, I have like 24. I have so many songs. I just want to put them together. We're about to drop an album, full album by end of November. No, just my brother, he was a Christian who introduced me to church, to God, to the Lord. He used to just sing in the house, and he was never going out there and saying he's some big singer somewhere. Nicki I guess she get it from me. She used to just hear me singing through the house. And when I start singing, doing the dishes, I would just hear the little steps coming down. She'd just come and sit there and watch me. Once I was singing songs, I used to sing a lot of the oldies, and she knew them. Diana Ross, Can't Hurry Love, and stuff like that. And she was singing those songs, and Midnight Train to Georgia. Every time I'm downstairs doing my dishes, I'm going to start singing, and she'll just run downstairs and sit there. She and my son, and they just watching me singing and stuff. So I love to sing since I was very young. And my brothers used to tell me, oh my God, shut up, Carol, you're doing dishes and you're just playing. I just doing my dishes in the house as a teenager and singing. That's what I was. So right now we are registered in Trinidad. There is an existing foundation. We have not done anything, but I want to do a similar thing like I'm doing here. Stirring up the gifts, going to the women's home, and encouraging them and bringing them to a place where they could stand on their own. I really want to start workshops down there. Well, what's in the future for Carol Maraj? I'm writing a play, Peaches. It's going to be, I think we're going to put it through probably next year, January. It's about a young woman who experienced her mother dying as a result of domestic violence, and how somehow she was drawn into that same kind of relationship. However, she came out and she became a pastor. So nice. I have the song also for that play, Peaches. So you'll be hearing that song soon. I'm still writing. I had stopped because I got very busy, but I'm still writing Peaches, and the song is done. You'll be hearing that song soon. Oh my gosh, I didn't expect to see my daughter looking all lovely, receiving her award for the I think the newest Best New Artist. I just kept staring at that screen like, what? And then that's my OMG moment.